Hi, my name is Mustafa Stefan Dill. I'm the guitarist and oudist with the prog, rock, funk, jazz improv group Pray for Brain, and I'm here to introduce a new instrument that's been built for me to put into service for Pray for Brain. It is the first of its kind, I believe, in North America. It is a double-neck electric oud / electric guitar. It has been about 3 or 4 years in the making, about at least 3 continents, 3 or 4 different builders, 3 or 4 different faiths. It's a testament to diversity and everybody coming together to support this project, and I'm honored and blessed and deeply thankful to everyone involved, and I hope to do everybody's work some justice. The project came about due to some of the musical needs I was feeling with Pray for Brain, which is a very diverse group in terms of the territory we cover. I'm honored to be playing with some of the most fabulous musicians I've ever had to work with. Christine Nelson on upright bass and Jefferson Voorhees on drums, and together we cover a lot of territory. It's prog, it's rock, it's a lot of telepathic improv, but there is a large South Asian and Indian component, which I cover that territory via the fretless guitar, and a large amount of Middle Eastern components and techniques and ideas, and I've been playing oud for 12 or 15 years. So all of that comes together in this band, which is why somebody once called this band the most American band they've ever heard, because it is truly that melting pot, that diversity. The problem with playing the oud in a live context is that even with an acoustic oud you have the pickups, but for the energy and volume that we play at, that wasn't really satisfactory. And I looked at some of these electric ouds, some of these frame ouds, and while that would have served the purpose, one of the ideas that I had is that wouldn't it be really nice to even integrate more seamlessly these elements, where I could go back and forth between the oud timbres and ideas and the electric guitar timbres at will and seamlessly. And so that was how the idea came, to really integrate both of those worlds into one instrument. The genesis of the instrument is a Gretsch baritone / guitar double neck, which I found as a factory second, and because the neck wasn't very good on it, it would have been damaged, and so I got it for cheap, and that was the basic shell. And I put out a call to a couple of guitar forums and said, is there anybody out there crazy enough who's willing to take on this conversion project I have in mind? And I was blessed to get an immediate response by the fabulous team of Rich and Chris Rice, a father and son team out of Chicago who builds fabulous Telecasters and are willing to take on any project, and they took this on. Bless their hearts, and I thank both of them deeply for their efforts and their work on it, because it turned out fabulous. So I sent them the guitar. The first thing he did was take the top off, because the top was kind of this weird plywoody stuff, and we looked at the chambering of how this guitar was actually hollowed out and chambered. And through discussions we decided to really almost rebuild that chambering in its entirety. So he solidified the electric guitar side to give it more of kind of a Les Paul attack and solidity and definition. Yet conversely, on the acoustic side where the oud was, he chambered that out completely to get a really acoustic, lively resonance, even to the top, even to the point where he actually did full acoustic bracing, as you can see here on the underside of the top. The top itself is this beautiful piece of maple that he had that fit the size, that he'd been sitting on for a number of years, and he bequeathed it to this project. So I'm very, very lucky to have it. It's a stunning looking piece. And so that's how the project got started. He worked on it off and on for about 3 or 4 years, depending upon his time and my funding. I finally had to sell my last few non-essential guitars and really make the sacrifice to get the final push to do this, but I'm very happy I did, because this is an instrument for the ages, and I'm very, very thrilled to be able to make music with it. So off and on over the years, they built it, they worked on it, they tweaked it here and there. In the meantime, Yaron Nar from Israel, and I hope I pronounced his name right, built the oud neck. I had sent him pictures of the pocket of where the baritone neck had been, and measured the heel and the neck pocket, sent him those measurements very specifically. He made the oud neck, sent that to me, I sent that to Chris and Rich, and they fine-tuned the fitting and got that all going. The electronics, the pickups for the electric guitar were built for me by James Finnerty of Rewind pickups out of Colorado. I think he used to be in Chicago, now he's in Colorado. He had built for me a set of low output humbuckers that were in my Tokai guitar for a number of years, and I liked his work very much. I liked the clarity and definition of it. So we talked a little bit about what this guitar would need, and we came up with one of his sort of mid-range or mid-output PAF sets. I think he calls it the JP P72, loosely based on some early Zeppelin tones. And I said, that's kind of the direction, yeah, let's kind of go in that territory. Something a little hotter than what you previously built, but let's underwind it a bit so that we still have some clarity and definition, and let's offset the coil so I have some good coil split possibilities on it. And so far so good. I've only had the instrument about a week or so, but so far so good. I'm getting a great range of tones. I love the crispness and definition, yet it's still like very full and very punchy. So I think it's a win, and I hope he keeps those wines and those specs for other customers, because I think it's a fabulous, fabulous combination. The acoustic side is powered by a K&K set of transducers underneath the top. I believe we went with the 12-string set, so it should be like 4 transducers, I think, underneath there. That in turn is powered by a Fishman power chip. That is the preamp that sends the signal out to the stereo output jack. The stereo output jack in turn splits for both the oud and the guitar, so I can have completely independent signal paths, which will be nice. So I can get various delays and effects for each side, and really the proper EQ and amplification for each side of the instrument. So the way it works, I have 2 stereo cables. One goes from the guitar, and that splits. The oud side goes into an A2.1U pedal for the oud, and the other side goes into an RP500. And that in turn has a stereo split, has this AT1U, and that is going to a power amp that I have that is a 50 watt by side stereo power amp that actually has 2 inputs per each side. So it works out very, very well, and I can set a bass EQ or basic EQ on that amp and then fine tune according to what the instruments need. So that's the story of it. I'm pleased as punch to have it. I'm honored and thrilled. And again, thank you Rich and Chris Rice, thank you James Finnerty, thank you Yaron Naur, thank you Gretsch, and for everybody who's been behind this project. It's been quite an odyssey and a journey, and again, I hope to make it justice and serve some music, and hope it brings some joy and peace and unity throughout the world. That's what music is about, and I hope to do well with it, and thanks to everybody who made this possible. Here's a little video demo of the guitar in action so far. Again, I've just received it, so I'm still learning it, still working how to balance both sides of the instrument, and still just trying to kind of wrap my head and hands around it. But enjoy this little sample, and we'll be sharing more music with it in the years to come. Again, thanks to everybody, and enjoy.